to know that you basically have a dick in a jar, that you could
break in
go
case of
and
emergency.
bust. Yeah, in case of an emergency or something like that. That's where I actually thought you were going to go with that, and that's kind of where. That's kind of where I thought that. That's kind of where I am on it. Is that I don't want there to be that temptation, So I mean, as far as you can be as mature about something as you want to be mature about something, but there's always that possibility that, like, and I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen where, there's people, oh, well, they're friends and all this and all that, and then this person who's married or whatever, she gets into an argument with her husband, and it's the weekend and she's out with her friends, and she's going home with somebody who's been her friend, So I don't want to specifically say who, but I'm thinking of people specifically who are I know.
Here, let's take it even further, Bo. Both of you, let's take it even further. Now, say sex does happen. Is that the end all? Like, why is the thing, if you love somebody and you know that it wasn't, I mean, even still, that's a next level of maturity and understanding and, like, really, like, communication with somebody. Say you're friends with it and you're like, oh, my God, you know what? We're probably going to have sex, and, or it's like having that sex thing. Like, why is sex the thing that makes it on or off? So you had sex with him. We're not in love anymore. You don't care. It's over. Like, on both people's part. Like, oh, yeah, I had sex with him, but it fucking sucked. Or, I mean, it was really good. He was great in bed, but I don't care about him. Or, like, yeah, I've been wanting to fuck her for my whole life. Like, I'm so glad I finally got to fuck her. Like, why is that, like, the thing that makes the decision? Why? Like, I get it. I do. I understand. Like, it's passionate and make babies and it's fucking personal between you two and it's most vulnerable and la, 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 la. But, like, why? Why is that the thing that makes the decision, whether you guys are going to be together forever or not? Because I personally, the person that I love most in the whole world, that I mean, soulmate, cannot ever stop thinking about her, I've seen a video that an ex sent me of him fucking her from the back. Like, nice, clear, fucking, like a minute and 40-second video of her just getting fucked from the back by a different guy. Now, at first, when I was watching it, it did make me sick. Like, I couldn't believe somebody that I trusted and loved and cared about so much, I'm now watching somebody fuck her. But the more that you watch it, like, I watched it probably 50 times. And not in a sexual way or gratifying way, but I watched it until I understood, like, this does not mean anything. This doesn't define what we had. This doesn't define our relationship. This isn't something that, like, that makes me not love her because I've seen it, or makes it to where I feel any differently or I resent her. Yes, it happened. Cool. It was a dick inside of it. Whatever. Like, you get past that point to where that's not the important shit. Like, the sex is, who cares at some point? Like, if you guys decide and you don't want to and it's just a mutual thing in between you and you care that much and you make that decision and that's how you guys, put rules around your relationship and life and, the morals that you hold. And I just think it takes the experience of it to really, like, start to understand those emotions and process them in a way that's healthy for both of you. Like, that's what I'm saying for both of her. If that sex was a thing that she was like, you know what, the sex was, I mean, I like having sex with this person and, I don't feel this for you anymore. Like, you still have to be respectful of that and be like, well, I mean, I still love you. It's never going to change. But, like, good luck. I hope everything's okay. And then either that thing is legitimate and they're together forever and that's fine and you never get to have that again and you eventually move on or do whatever you do, or you come back. Like, or it's like, you know what, I was just lust. I fell for something stupid. It made my life harder and worse, and I don't feel like the same person being with this guy. I want to be with you, and I know I'm sorry. Like, it's a lot of work, all of this is, and you have to constantly, like, learn every day to get better at it and know these kinds of things,
Dave, I have so many questions. Many questions, Dave. Okay, so first of all, so you've seen a video. So I imagine it wasn't on, like, Pornhub. Like, you didn't just stumble across it. Like, somebody sent it to you.
To me. Yes.
Okay, so like I said, I got a few questions here. Was this person, was you dating this person when this person sent this to you?
No.
Was it after you were dating them?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Like
how long
days.
after?
Yeah, days,
Okay.
week maybe. But
so
she initially said that video's from a long time ago. That's not from something like that just happened. She's like, that's just an old video that he has. It's not like I swear to God, like I'm humiliated. I would never. I cannot believe how disgusting it is that he would send that to someone at all, you or anybody. It's fucking awful.
Dave, I feel like
Like
you've told this story before, and I think I tend to remember you saying something like she was wearing some toenail polish in the video that you had just bought her like a week beforehand or something.
Yeah, but I don't. She, like I said, I mean, of course she could be lying to me, and that's fine. It's all about what you're willing to accept. But she's like, that's the kind of toe polish that I like. Like I wear that toe polish all the time. I just keep painting my toes that color for always. Like I don't like other colors as much. Like, and I don't know if it was identical. I mean, it could have been. It could have not have been. I mean, the toe polish was with me, so she didn't have it. It was in my house. So it's not like she either went out and bought a new bottle and painted her toes again, which obviously is possible, of course. But
well,
I mean,
it was only
within
days. She could have painted her toes while she was still with you at her house and still had. I mean, girls. Suzanne can back me up on this. Suzanne, do women paint their toenails every single day?
No, probably about once a week.
Once a week. So I don't know.
I'm not denying it. I'm saying yes. It's definitely a possibility. Sure, but who cares? That's what I've dealt with it. It doesn't.
But you guys
affect
were
me.
broken up, though.
Well,
You guys were broken up, though, right? Oh, you were broken up, though, right? Oh, okay.
Yes. I mean, technically, she wasn't there anymore. She left me. So, yes, we were broken up.
Okay.
Right, but
yeah,
that's
I mean,
not,
even so,
that's
regardless
not,
of the time frame.
That's not the question I have with it. Is that it's not necessarily the sex that happened or whatever. It's the story afterwards, right? Like, okay, so you still at this point don't know. So I'm imagining you said the person you love more than anywhere else or whatever and stuff like that. That like there's been some type of reconciliation since then.
Of course.
Okay. So here's my question: is that if she was lying to you, though, like what if that was right after you guys broke up, which is really the most logical answer. Really, the most logical answer is she was really super mad at you. You guys broke up. I think you kind of told me some of the situation. It wasn't a good breakup. It was like a big all-out.
It wasn't toxic and bad. No, I mean, I came home from work and she was like, I'm leaving. And I was like, why? She's just like, and like I said, there's a whole big story to that why, but it was nothing between us in our relationship that was wrong. But here's the thing.
Well, no, either way. Let me stop you because I was going somewhere. I wasn't done with that. But what I'm saying is it seems like to me it's more probable that video did happen within a recent amount of time and not a long time beforehand, which would be why this person would be sending it to you in the first place, because it doesn't make sense for somebody who had sex with her like months or years ago beforehand just to randomly send you a video. But what I'm saying is that is it more of, the fact that she may or may not have lied to you about it and still hasn't told you the truth about that situation, as opposed to that it even happened in the first place?
Well, he also sent that video to, like, her brother and her mom and, like, all kinds of people. It wasn't just me.
He sent it to her mom?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So, I mean, he's a very sick person, like, just in general. He's done all kinds of gross things like that throughout their history. But, there were lots of drugs involved. There's just drugs that, I mean, it is what it is. But here's the thing. I don't care. I don't care if she's lying to me. I don't care if she lies to me forever about it. That is her thing to keep and hold inside of her heart. If she wants to fucking let it out and be that kind of, go for it. I will love you the same whether you tell me the truth or you don't. And I don't even care if it doesn't work out again. I care that the time that I spend with her is precious and it feels good, and I don't hold on to any of that negative shit, and I won't. So, I mean, even if she fails again and breaks, sabotages herself, ruins, messes it up, I'm still going to love her the exact same way I did before she did. And it's never going to be different. And if she wants to come back again, I would do it again. And I wouldn't, make her feel bad or make her feel guilty. I don't want her to feel guilt and doubt and upset. I just want her to appreciate, the time that we have together. And who fucking cares what happens before or after or, whatever. Let's just enjoy us, because that's what feels good.
That's good that you feel that way, but to an extent, I mean, now you know how you feel because you're you, and not to disparage her in any way. I'm sure, obviously, she loves you too because you were able to reconcile, and she does have to live with that in her heart if she did lie to you, But if she does it again, she's telling you that she doesn't appreciate you as much as you appreciate her. And she hasn't, so that's good. So basically, you've gotten rid of the poison, and you guys are happy together, and I wish you the best because it sounds like you've got something special.
Well, we'll see. Only time will tell.
Yeah, and no, I got a little bit of a problem with this, and I'll just come out and say it. It doesn't work that way, though. It doesn't. That's not workable. It's not workable for one person to be like, oh, I love this person unconditionally. I don't care what she would ever do or whatever, or if she doesn't appreciate it or anything like that. That's not healthy. To just
How is it not?
Then be like, if that person has a history of not reciprocating it, or of making very questionable decisions that's basically ruining the relationship, or and I'm not saying that's necessarily the case with you, but the way that you phrased that was, I don't care if this happened or that happened or whatever, I'm going to love her unconditionally. I'll accept her back every single time and stuff. We deserve as people to fall in. Sometimes people fall in love with the wrong person, and that person doesn't care about them and stuff, and that ends up being a very toxic thing where somebody ends up using the other person. But you deserve to fall in love and be with somebody who equally loves you and wants to be with you in that same way, not just because you're the best thing that they have going right now.
I agree.
But see, you're defining it for them. You can't. Somebody may love you differently. Somebody may love you in the way that they know how to love you, and it's most important to them to love you that way. You can't be like, no, this is my definition of love, and this is how you'll do it, or it's not real love. You have to just let someone love you the way that they know how. And I'm
not putting my own morals and presuppositions onto it, but what I'm saying is there is a certain level of mutual respect that we all agree on as human beings. Now, there's variations of that. We're not all the same. Go ahead,
you do not need to be a doormat. I mean, I just had to say it like that because basically that's what you would be if you loved her, like you say, unconditionally, and she wasn't, respecting the relationship. And I know, and I don't mean this in a mean way whatsoever, but what ends up happening over a period of time is a resentment builds up, even though you may not know it. You have a subconscious, and that just keeps pushing it down and pushing it down. And eventually, if the relationship doesn't work out, it will end up coming up in a future relationship, and then you'll, destroy that relationship when that person didn't have anything to do with your previous relationship, and it just continues a pattern, and it's been psychologically proven, that that's what we do, and that's why it's hard to break that cycle, but it's possible, people do it, but to love unconditionally as you say you do, and will respect her, then you don't respect yourself enough to say I deserve better.
Well, here's the thing, so I mean that is still a perception of things. That's a thing that if that happened to you, this is how you would feel. Now, there's a thing where if it's not a perception, you don't feel